Welcome back to the Be Mighty Mom podcast, where advocacy meets empathy and where your voice matters more than ever. I'm your host, Ash, and today's episode is all about something that is deceptively simple, yet profoundly powerful: the pause. Let's get into it. When someone says something ignorant, dismissive, or even cruel, especially about our kids, about autism, or about inclusion, our first instinct is often to react. But today, we're exploring what happens when we take a breath instead, when we pause, when we choose to reflect first instead before we react. Let's talk about why this matters, and more importantly, how to do it in real time. Now, you might be wondering, why pause at all? Doesn't silence give the hurtful comment or commenter power, making us powerless? Actually, pausing doesn't mean silence. In this case, it means self-regulation, a moment to choose your next step with intention. Instead of just letting that comment sit there in the air, you're taking a moment to pause, reflect on what you need to say, reflect on how you need to say it, to try to get your point across. And yes, this can expand more out into things that aren't about advocacy. But what I'm going to focus on here is when you need to advocate to somebody who is saying something that requires you to pause. So here's the science. When we feel attacked, our brains activate the amygdala. So that's the part that is responsible for our fight or flight. Pausing allows the prefrontal cortex, the part that is responsible for reasoning and empathy, to re-engage. It literally brings us back online. Think about it like turning off your computer and turning it back on, turning off your router or turning it back on. It is resetting your brain instead of malfunctioning. So that's the power of the pause. According to research from Harvard Medical School, even a 6-second pause can reduce cortisol levels and restore executive functioning. That's huge when you're advocating for your child and trying not to burn out. Because let's be real, burning out has helped nobody. So how do we do this? I'm not just going to tell you to take a breath and move on. Let's talk real tools that will actually help you. Tools that are actually grounded in research that help you pause with power. So remember how I just said I wasn't going to make you take a breath and move on? Well, tool number 1 is the 6-second breath. But it's not just taking a breath and moving on. This is actually self-regulation. So let's try this. You're going to inhale for 3 seconds and exhale for 3 seconds, then do it again. This simple breath activates your parasympathetic nervous system. It's that part that tells your body, hey, we're safe. You're literally calming your fight or flight when you give yourself 6-second breaths. Even if the next time you're feeling anxious or overwhelmed or you're about to fly off the handle, doesn't matter if you're advocating, try the 6-second breath and see if it helps you. Tool number 2, the name it to tame it method. This is from Dr. Dan Siegel. When you're feeling flooded, try saying to yourself, I'm feeling overwhelmed. If someone says a comment that hurts you, say, that was hurtful. Naming your emotion helps reduce its intensity. Because one of the things that is true for most humans, if you are unable to recognize the emotion that you're having, then it's hard to process and move past it. And you're going to sit there, and that's when the spiraling happens. That's when your cortisol levels increase. That's when your anxiety gets worse. That's when panic attacks can happen. So this is a very important tool to help you start processing why you feel that way and understanding your emotions behind it. So tool number 3, the what's my goal question. Before responding, ask yourself this. What is my goal? What is my goal here? Is it to defend your child? Educate the person? Protect your peace? Once you understand your goal, that will help you trying to determine how and if you respond. This moment of clarity helps you respond with purpose, not just emotion. Tool number 4 kind of brings all of this together. This is called the stop skill, and I'm going to break it down for you. So S-T-O-P. S, stop. Don't react immediately. T, take a breath. O, observe. What am I feeling? What's happening in my body? P, proceed mindfully. This tool is used in evidence-based therapy for emotional regulation, and it's incredible for moments of advocacy stress. Because so much of what we do as autism parents, rare disease parents, it is advocating in real time to things that we hear all the time, what feels like ignorant responses, uneducated things, misinformation, and when you hear it all the time, you kind of develop this script, which is not a bad thing. But there are some times where, especially to the people that are closest to you, makes it really hard to maintain those relationships when they're unwilling to learn. I don't expect them to understand fully right away. I do expect them to have questions. But it's the constant questioning and having their own opinions on things when they don't live it, which that'll be a different episode. But advocacy stress is something that is so different because a lot of the times we have little eyes and little ears right there who can hear everything that we're saying and everything that's being said. How we respond is going to help them too. Using these tools can help you so much in the moment to make sure that you are responding in a way that protects them and you. And them, I mean your child, not the people who you need to respond to. Even with tools, it's hard. You're tired. And not just physically tired, you're mentally tired. You're tired of all of this. Not your child being autistic. You're tired of the ignorance of other people surrounding that. Same with rare disease. You're tired of the ignorance of other people surrounding that. That's where you're tired. You're constantly advocating. You're constantly in fight mode. So here are a few more ways to take care of yourself in the moment so you have energy left for what really matters here. And that's being a parent to your child. Do a body scan check. Notice your jaw, shoulders, fists. Are they tight? Loosen them. Ground your feet. Force your body to relax. Keep a grounding phrase in your pocket. I can choose my energy. Their misunderstanding doesn't define my child. Repeat it when you feel shaky. Make space for the comeback later. Not every powerful response has to be immediate. Write a note. Send an email. Your voice still counts, even after the fact. Reacting is human, and let's be real, we will all still do it. But pausing is powerful. When we choose to pause, we choose ourselves over the chaos, connection over control, and intention over impulse. And that is what being mighty is all about. I will also add that it is important to pause for a longer period of time. If you are dealing with a particularly difficult person who is so firm and strong in their beliefs that might harm your child, it is okay to pause and not respond. Because silence does speak louder than words. So, silence has power too. Thank you for being here today. If you found this episode helpful or you want to get a message across to somebody, please share it with a fellow advocate or somebody that you're trying to talk to. And don't forget to subscribe so you can be up to date on all of our episodes that are coming on. You are mighty, not just in your fight, but in your kindness too. Until next time, stay grounded, stay kind, and keep going. Bye.